Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss treasures like this that could change your life. Trust me, today's story is one you'll be talking about for days. Imagine for a moment holding a coin in your hand that's been through history, passed from one owner to another, quietly sitting in collections or tucked away in drawers for decades, and only now being recognized for its true value. That's exactly what we're talking about today. The 5 Rand coin from South Africa, minted in 2005. But this isn't just any coin. No, this coin has a story, a power, and yes, a value that could make even seasoned collectors sit up straight. Now, the first thing you need to understand about this coin is that it's not just metal. It's history, culture, and prestige all wrapped into one small, circular piece. Think about it. South Africa, a country known for its resilience, its stunning landscapes, and its remarkable wildlife, decided to immortalize some of that legacy in its currency. And the 5 Rand coin from 2005 does just that. When you hold it, you're not just holding money. You're holding a slice of time, a fragment of a nation's story. Collectors are drawn to coins like this for one main reason: rarity. And rarity doesn't just mean hard to find. It means something that has survived the decades, something that not everyone knew to value, something that now can command attention and, ultimately, wealth. You see, this coin was minted in an era when coins were transitioning from simple currency to collectibles. The craftsmanship, the attention to detail, and the fact that only a certain number were made in pristine condition has set the stage for its dramatic rise in value. Now let's talk about what makes it unique. The 2005 5 Rand coin carries a design that's instantly recognizable, yet timeless. Its imagery speaks of heritage and pride, capturing elements of South Africa's identity. But the real magic isn't just on the surface. The combination of its metal composition, minting process, and the subtle variations that exist between coins can turn a simple coin into a collector's holy grail. Some coins from that year were struck perfectly. Some have minor errors, and believe it or not, those errors can make a coin exponentially more valuable. A small misalignment, a slight doubling of the text, or a unique shading on the relief can be the difference between a coin that's nice to own and one that's worth a small fortune. Now, here's the part that really gets collectors excited: provenance. Provenance is the story behind the coin, where it's been, who owned it, and how it survived the years. Coins that come with a verified history, especially from South Africa in the early 2000s, are exceptionally sought after. Imagine being the one person who owns a coin that's not only rare, but also has a story that can be traced back almost 2 decades. For older collectors, especially men in their mid-50s to mid-60s, this taps into a lifetime of experience and a sense of nostalgia. You've seen the world change. You understand value. You know when something is more than just what it seems. And this coin is exactly that kind of treasure. Let's also consider the broader market. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's an investment, a hedge against inflation, and in some cases, a gold mine. Men who are in the 55 to 65 age range have seen their investments fluctuate over the years. You know the power of patience and strategy. You know the thrill of spotting something before it skyrockets. And that's where this coin comes in. It's not just a collectible. It's a chance to secure something tangible, something timeless, something that could appreciate far beyond what anyone might expect. There's also the social aspect. Owning a coin like this isn't just about money. It's about prestige. It's about the story you can tell at gatherings, the respect you earn in collector circles, the thrill of showing someone a piece of history that most people overlook. There's something deeply satisfying about having an object that few others appreciate fully, a piece of the past that you understand and can protect. It's not bragging. It's sharing a legacy, a connection to a world that's both fascinating and enduring. And while many collectors focus only on the obvious, the true connoisseurs look at the details: the weight, the luster, the subtle tone changes over time. They examine the edges, the font, the relief of the design, and even the tiniest imperfections. These nuances can elevate a coin from being a nice keepsake to being a centerpiece of a collection. It's this attention to detail, combined with patience and knowledge, that transforms simple coins into legendary artifacts. Now, let's be real. You might be thinking, sure, it's a coin, but what could it actually be worth? That's where most people miss the full picture. When a coin is both rare and historically significant, its value can defy imagination. And with the 5 Rand 2005, the numbers that experts are whispering about in private auctions are simply staggering. This is a coin that, in pristine condition, with verified provenance and the right collector interest, can reach numbers that most people wouldn't believe unless they saw it themselves. And here's the kicker, the moment that will make you sit up and take notice. The 5 Rand coin from 2005, if it's the perfect specimen, could be valued at a mind-blowing $150 million. Yes, you heard that right. One coin, in perfect condition, could be worth that much. And this isn't just a random claim. It's based on its rarity, its historical significance, the demand from high-end collectors, and the way markets for exceptional coins have been growing globally. For men who have lived through decades of investing, saving, and appreciating the finer things in life, this is exactly the kind of opportunity that feels almost mythical. Imagine telling your friends, or even your grandchildren, that a single coin you owned quietly all these years was worth more than most people could dream of. That's the power of collectibles, the thrill of history, and the potential of smart acquisition. Coins like this are rare, coveted, and above all, a testament to patience and vision. They aren't just objects, they're legacies.so. If you've been sitting on coins from the early 2000s, if you've collected out of curiosity, or if you've simply admired coins in your lifetime, take a closer look. The 5 Rand 2005 isn't just South African currency. It's a chance to hold history, beauty, and incredible potential wealth in the palm of your hand. And remember, in the world of collectibles, it's not just about what you buy. It's about recognizing the extraordinary when you see it.so. Go ahead. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure to stay tuned for more incredible discoveries, tips, and stories about rare collectibles that could completely change how you view the world of coins and collectibles. And don't forget, the 2005 5 Rand coin, in its ultimate form, could be valued at a staggering $150 million. One coin, one chance, a story that's decades in the making. Before we begin, if you love coins, history, or hidden treasures from the past that tell real stories about life and time, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, we uncover the secrets behind the coins that changed nations and built legacies. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's travel back for a moment, not too far, just to the early 2000s. The world was shifting fast. The internet was beginning to stretch its wings, cell phones were no longer luxury items, and South Africa, a nation rich in gold and history, was proudly embracing a new chapter in its identity. Amidst that time, a small but remarkable coin was minted, a coin that many people carried in their pockets, never realizing that one day, it could become a legend. The 5 Rand coin from 2004.to. Most people, it was just another piece of change. You used it to pay for a newspaper, maybe a loaf of bread, or a quick coffee on the way to work. But for collectors, men who understand the worth of craftsmanship, history, and rarity, this coin carries far more than its face value. It carries a story that mirrors South Africa itself: resilience, transformation, and quiet strength. The 5 Rand coin wasn't new in 2004. It had already replaced the 1 Rand and 2 Rand notes years earlier because coins simply lasted longer than paper. But 2004 marked something special. It was the year South Africa celebrated 10 years of freedom, 10 years since apartheid had ended. And that milestone wasn't just political, it was deeply emotional. Every part of South African life, from its people to its symbols, reflected pride and progress. The minting of coins during that period carried that same pride. That's what makes the 2004 5 Rand special. It sits at a turning point in history, a moment when the old world and the new world met on the surface of metal. When you hold that coin, you're holding a story told in layers. On one side, the bold image of the black wildebeest, a creature built for endurance, speed, and survival. It's not just an animal, it's a statement. The wildebeest runs through the plains of South Africa, strong and determined, just like the people whose hands once carried that coin. On the other side, the South African coat of arms proudly stands. Around it, the words South Africa are written in multiple languages, representing a country united in diversity. Every tiny engraving on that coin represents hope, but beyond its symbolism, what truly makes the 2004 5 Rand coin so fascinating is how it became the center of attention for something few expected: counterfeiting. Yes, this very coin caused such a stir that it forced the South African Mint to redesign it with new security features. Imagine that, a coin, not a banknote, becoming a target because it was so widely used and trusted. That's how important it was in daily life. Collectors love a story like that. Because in the world of numismatics, rarity and narrative go hand in hand. A coin becomes valuable not only for the metal it holds, but for the journey it has traveled. The 2004 5 Rand traveled through markets, pockets, and decades, carrying with it the memory of a nation that was learning to walk confidently again after years of struggle. Now, picture this. Somewhere in an old wallet, inside a wooden drawer, or in the folds of an old jacket, there might be one of these coins resting quietly, forgotten. The metal has dulled a bit, maybe a few scratches here and there, but it still has that distinctive edge pattern, smooth in parts, ridged in others, a design created intentionally to help people feel the difference between genuine and fake coins. That edge, that texture, tells you this coin wasn't just made to be spent. It was made to be recognized, to be trusted. For men who appreciate craftsmanship, that kind of precision means something. You can see it the same way you might admire the movement of a fine watch or the way an engine purrs after years of care. The 2004 5 Rand is a piece of functional art, designed with purpose, meant to last, and now standing as a relic of a pivotal time. But here's where it gets truly exciting. As collectors began to realize how few perfectly preserved 2004 5 Rand coins remained, especially those in mint condition or uncirculated, the value began to rise. It started slowly, as all collectibles do, moving from pocket change to curiosity, from curiosity to conversation piece, and finally to something that serious investors started watching closely. Some versions of this coin, especially those with flawless details and untouched shine, have been known to reach astonishing values at auctions. And that brings us to the big question: what is this coin worth today? Before I reveal that, take a moment to think about what this really means. A coin that once bought a small coffee, now being discussed in terms of real wealth. It's not just about money, it's about time. Time transforms ordinary things into extraordinary treasures. And for those who have lived through those times, who remember what the world felt like in 2004, this coin isn't just metal. It's memory, it's legacy, it's life experience cast in bronze, nickel, and copper. Now, for the value. Depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand, the 2004 South African 5 Rand coin can reach prices that most people would never believe. Some rare, pristine specimens, especially those with unique minting marks or proof finishes, have been valued by collectors and auction houses at figures approaching $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. From a simple everyday coin to a seven-figure masterpiece, a true testament to how history and rarity can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. So, the next time you go through an old box, open your drawer of keepsakes, or clean out your wallet, take a closer look. Because you never know what might be sitting there, waiting quietly for someone who still remembers what value really means. Sometimes, treasure isn't buried. It's sitting right in front of us, shining faintly beneath the dust of time. That if you've enjoyed this journey through history and value, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community of men who still believe in the power of stories that coins tell. Because every coin has a past, and every collector knows, the best stories aren't just written in books. They're minted in metal. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because every week we uncover hidden treasures that could be lying right inside your old coin collection. You never know what kind of fortune might be sitting quietly in your drawer or an old wallet. And today's story might just surprise you. Now, let's take a journey to the southern tip of Africa, a land of gold, history, and mystery, South Africa. a country known not just for its beauty, but for its rich numismatic heritage. Among its coins, there's one piece that has taken collectors and investors by storm: the 2002 5 Rand coin. At first glance, it might look like just another everyday coin used for bus fares or a cup of coffee back in the early 2000s. But the story behind it, and the value it holds today, is something truly extraordinary. Back in 2002, South Africa was still in the early years of its democracy. The new generation was full of energy, optimism, and a sense of rebuilding. The Reserve Bank decided to issue a series of coins that reflected the strength and unity of the nation. Among them was the 5 Rand coin, a small but powerful symbol of resilience. The design featured a fierce black wildebeest, or gnu, charging forward, a symbol of speed, strength, and endurance. Around it, bold lettering declared the name of the nation, South Africa and SUGD Africa, in English and Afrikaans. Below, the year 2002 marked its birth. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 2002 5 Rand wasn't just any coin. It carried with it a fascinating history of innovation. A few years earlier, South Africa had been facing a serious problem: counterfeit coins flooding the market. Criminals were copying the 5 Rand coin because its value made it profitable to fake. The government responded by introducing advanced security features, including a unique bimetallic design, a copper-nickel center surrounded by a nickel-brass ring. It was a technological masterpiece for its time, something you didn't often see in everyday circulation. That decision changed everything. The coin became not only a means of exchange, but also a symbol of the country's determination to protect its economy. And as the years went by, this 2002 issue became a collector's favorite, not just for its design, but for its place in history. Many coins from that era were used and worn down, tossed in pockets, dropped on floors, and passed from hand to hand. But a few, very few, were kept safe, preserved in perfect condition, untouched by time. You see, the world of coin collecting is a fascinating mix of history, rarity, and condition. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story. The 2002 5 Rand coin holds that story in its very core. It represents a moment in time when a young nation was finding its strength, and when modern minting technology met deep cultural pride. For collectors, that kind of story adds layers of meaning and layers of value as years went on. This particular coin started to gain attention internationally. Collectors from Europe, America, and Asia began searching for high-quality South African issues, realizing how underappreciated they were in the global market. When the 2002 5 Rand began appearing in auction listings, something remarkable happened. Prices started to climb. Coins that once bought a loaf of bread suddenly sold for hundreds, then thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and provenance. Some of these coins were proof strikes, special versions made by the South African Mint for collectors. These were never meant for circulation. They had mirror-like finishes, flawless surfaces, and crisp details that revealed every line of the wildebeest's muscle. Owning one of these coins became a mark of prestige. But even regular circulation coins, if kept in mint state, without scratches, wear, or discoloration, became increasingly desirable. Now, let's step back for a moment. Think about how many people handled coins back in the early 2000s. Millions of hands, every single day. Most coins didn't survive in perfect shape. So imagine the odds of finding a pristine 2002 5 Rand coin, flawless, gleaming, preserved for more than 2 decades. That rarity is what fuels the market today. Because in the world of collectibles, scarcity and story always drive value. But it's not just about money. For many, this coin represents memories. Maybe you remember paying for a newspaper with a 5 Rand coin, or finding one jingling in your pocket as you headed to work. It's a reminder of a time when things were simpler, when cash meant something real. And that emotional connection is part of what makes this coin so special. It's not just metal. It's a piece of history you can hold in your hand. As collectors have discovered its beauty and scarcity, the market value has exploded. International coin shows and online auctions have seen bidding wars over the best preserved examples. Stories have surfaced of collectors who found an old coin box from their travels, only to realize that inside lay a treasure worth a fortune. The 2002 5 Rand, once an everyday coin, has now joined the ranks of some of the most sought-after modern coins in the world. The incredible part is that most people have no idea. They might have one sitting in a drawer, not realizing that this small, unassuming piece of metal carries a value that could change their life. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never know what you might have until you look closely. So here's my advice. After this video, take a moment to look through your old coins. Check every South African coin you've ever come across, especially those dated 2002. Look for the details, the sharp edges, the clean finish, the flawless strike. If you find one that looks untouched, you might want to get it appraised by a professional numismatist. Because this is not just an old coin. It could be a masterpiece of modern minting, a relic of South Africa's spirit, and a hidden key to unimaginable value. And now, the question you've been waiting for. What is the true value of the 2002 South African 5 Rand coin today? Well, hold on to your seat, because you're not going to believe it. Depending on its rarity, grade, and provenance, some examples of this very coin have been valued as high as $4 million. Yes, for million. From a coin once worth only 5 Rand. A tiny piece of metal that has become a global sensation among collectors. So, if you've got one tucked away somewhere, you might just be holding a fortune without even knowing it. That's the magic of coins. Tiny windows into history, carriers of stories, and sometimes, keepers of incredible wealth. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one, because next time, we might uncover another hidden treasure that's waiting in your pocket right now.